Sweet, right. We're good to go.
Ready?
Aha! I think we did it again.
Let's see if it works this time.
Every month is a new adventure. God, YouTube keeps throwing up random windows
Yes,
for
it
no
is.
reason. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Horrorific Talk Spot, where we talk shit for a couple of hours on stuff, mainly ranting, and sometimes we involve horror because why not?
That's just what you do.
Right? Yes. Last month we had a really good live stream. Everything did all the
It was
whistles
a
and bells,
great discussion. Great discussion.
and
Too bad
everything.
you'll never know.
I think what happened was when I hit end stream on YouTube, for the first time ever, it brings up this window that I'd never seen before, and it said something and dismiss. Now, normally the word dismiss means cancel, get rid of, destroy. So I hit the
Mm.
other button, and then it brought up this weird window of it was like editing the stream. So I think what it actually did was cropped like the first 28 seconds for no reason whatsoever, and then that's all broadcast. And for a week, I was sitting with like the full 2 hour show, but only 28 seconds would play. And I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like,
Fucking YouTube.
oh god, it's getting worse. Um, I watched the documentary there. In fact, did we talk about this last month? The Social Dilemma.
I, I think so.
Was I talking to you about it or somebody else?
Mhm. I'm pretty sure we did talk about it.
Yeah. YouTube aren't even in control of YouTube anymore. It's
Mhm.
the algorithm. Like they're just
Fucking
holding on.
Skynet, man.
They're holding on, going, "Whoa!" And it's just become more obvious. The AI is running everything, and
Hmm.
you don't even talk to a person anymore. Thankfully, nobody watches this, so I don't get in trouble for anything. But if you did get in trouble for something, you can't even talk to the a person. It's all bots
Hmm.
and AI, and it's like, come on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I hear about that all the time with like filmmakers and people pirating their shit onto YouTube. It's like there's nothing that anybody can do because there's nobody there.
No, it's just layers upon layers upon layers of bots and uh, flipping fake servers and
Mhm.
VPNs and all. And in fact, even the VPNs are pretty useless. That's one of the biggest scams now of current age of those VPNs
Mhm.
because you still have to have an account to have one. If you log into any, if you don't have basically have a sanitized computer that you do nothing else with, the minute you log into one of your own accounts, it can be found anyway.
Mhm.
Whether you hide 100 ISPs or not, it's I don't know, crazy times. It's
Definitely.
like that's what they say though. The world goes mad every time there's a new form of communication. So the same thing apparently happened when the printing press came out. So when you didn't have scribes anymore, uh, writing manuscripts, and you could put little blocks on the board, that changed the world and everybody went crazy. When the radio first came out, everybody went crazy, and now the internet and social media. Well, two phases. The internet
Everybody
first.
really went crazy with that shit.
Well, there's two. When the internet first came out, people went crazy, but it wasn't everybody. then social
Hmm.
media. This is the new age of everyone going even more mental.
Hmm.
And it's like it's just every time we get a new form of communication, people just go, "Bah, I can do anything, so I will." And then we
Yeah.
realize, oh, hold on, we'll have to kind of try and live together. So once a few heads get smashed in and bring out the clubs, everyone goes, ugh. Everyone goes back to caveman. Default setting. Yeah. So anyway, all good with you.
Yeah. Not much ever changes with me.
As it,
I
as it,
I
well,
work too much to have a life.
well, we
That's
spoke about this
that's.
last week because it was actually a funny time the way because there was still like a full week of the month left. The way it went,
Hmm.
that was just weird. So yeah, we put everything back a week, but hey, it's
Mm.
all good. We'll keep going. So this we're going to do something a wee bit different rather than the usual topics. We're just going to go balls into Creepshow season 2
Fuck yeah.
and just we'll do the first half of it this week, and then at the end of the month we'll finish it off because there's still an episode to go in the series
Hmm.
anyway. So with
Yeah, I
that,
figure it's easier to split it right down the middle.
makes sense. Where's my money? Ah, there it is. Aha. So with that, let's
Technology.
dive right in. Yeah, you would think having a new
Yeah.
setup would make life easier, but nah.
No, no, absolutely not.
It just
Of
brings you a whole slew
course.
of new problems.
Of course. Because you're used to the old problems and you can work around them. Then you get the new problems and you're like, fuck, what now?
Yep. And then by the time we get all that figured out, fuck off. See, since the lockdown restrictions have ended, or starting to end, this, where I'm living, is just going mental. It's driving me nuts.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. It's like it's already been pretty fucking loose around here since probably like May of last year. Like really the only thing that's changed is you don't have to wear masks now because of course the state doesn't, mandate shit like that. Now it's just up to the private individuals to do it. That's about the only issue I've had is having to tell people, "No, man, you can't come in here without that."
Yeah, well, ours has always been you wear masks indoors,
Hmm.
um, not outdoors, because the whole thing is fresh air dissipates everything, and
Hmm.
that's supposed to be good. In fact, you're meant to get out, but then,
Oh my god. That's the funny thing. Fucking CDC just released a thing saying it's fine to wear a mask or to go outside without a mask. It's like it's always been okay to be outside without a fucking mask. You don't have to tell me what's okay because we already knew that.
I think it's just the case of these people don't know what they're doing. They're making it up as they go along.
Hmm.
The problem is that everyone's that excited that they're flipping coming down like a ton of bricks on people,
Hmm.
and then next week the rules change, and that's why everyone's getting burnt out now and just pissed off because like, come on, we were playing ball, we're with you, but you're the ones that keep chopping and changing and don't know what the hell they're doing,
Oh yeah.
and now you're pissing us off. So yeah, we're not wanting to play a game anymore. Please try
Hmm.
to stop. Yeah, because this all ended last week, 2 weeks now. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh shit. So it's really fresh.
Yeah, so the police tried to come out and do their usual, but there's far too many punters outside. So they tried to go and police the bars. Everyone just told them to fuck off. And then they slid back in their little corner. That's what I mean. They've been going around. The police over here have lost all respect because they're mugging, basically gathered around pensioners going for their
Hmm.
groceries. And yet, while
That's
people are
ridiculous.
ratting and tearing the place apart, just stood to the side. It's like, come on, really? Make up your mind. It's either one rule for all or none. Pick one.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're friggin' the police sirens are all ramped up around here now. It's like uh, you'd think it was Beirut I was living in, and not southeast London.
Fuck.
Oh man.
Yeah. We we've got our own cop problems. At least they're coming to light. You can't be colored person out in these parts. Otherwise, you just get killed. But there's also some people that let's just say in recent light, I've seen what people of color can get away with, and it's ridiculous.
There's
Like
always there's always those
it.
assholes that take the piss.
Well, what's crazy is all right. So I'm not going to get into it necessarily, but I know somebody that assaulted an officer and got a DUI, and I'm pretty fucking sure just because they're darker skinned, they got to go home that night.
Yeah.
They didn't even do it. Like they didn't even sober up in a tank. It is insane.
But
But yet, you get pulled over and you're dark. They just shoot you. So it's like if you don't do anything, you get killed. If you do something, they just kind of go, "Oh, I don't know what to do. Let's just let them go."
yeah, don't exactly have the best and brightest unemployed. The problem is
Yeah.
the police used to be a working class profession,
Hmm.
and it used to be people that lived in the neighborhoods, knew the
Hmm.
players, could talk the language. But because the police has been a lucrative, it's the same with nursing as well, and this is all down to over. It's all class struggle, the haves and the have-nots. It's everything goes down
Hmm.
to that. At the end of the day, strip away whatever labels being used. It's down to that. So because policing and nursing are pretty lucrative jobs, the middle class kids, because they're doing nothing, you know what I mean? They're producing all
Hmm.
these useless individuals who rely on mommy and daddy, can't make their own way in life. So that's why they started changing, the qualifications needed to become a police officer or a nurse, and started putting all these barriers in place so that the mechanism could get all these people in. The problem is they're
Hmm.
not suited to the job. We've seen it here with policing. Definitely, you've got all these like 4 foot nothing midgets trying to
Hmm.
like police a punch up in a bar. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because usually, if you're an ex-squatty, that was the next step, was you went into the police. So you come out of the army or Marines or the services, and you usually became a police officer to do your last 10 years to retirement age.
Hmm.
That doesn't happen anymore. So you've all these people that just aren't suited to the world that they're dealing with, and that's why all these fuck ups are happening. It's just pure stupidity.
Yeah.
It's not even malice. I wouldn't even say it was malice because yeah, there's this whole political nonsense going on, and that's kind of stirring the pot in the background. You know what I mean? You always look where the money's coming
Hmm.
from to see who gains from it. But these people are just clueless, and that's a problem. If you're clueless and you're given weapons, you're given authority, it's never going to end well.
Yeah.
When the pendulum swings too much, you know what I mean? The blowback's going to be worse because normal people are getting pissed off because I always consider myself pretty centrist, but no way am I joining with the woke crowd because they're fucking morons.
Yeah.
So you've got the
Yeah.
woke tards and then everybody else, and then we're sitting having to go, okay, I don't like this right wing Bible bashing lunatic who's anti everything, but at the same time, they're not the ones burning the streets or taking away my freedoms or policing what I say. So we're going to have to go on their side for a bit to get these lunatics kicked back into check again. The only danger is if the pendulum swings right back the other way, we're back to the 18th century. You know what I mean?
Right.
And nobody wants that.
No.
It's like, what do you do? That's a funny
Yeah.
thing. Like the world is horrifying enough. Never mind talking about the actual genre. Because
Right.
what's going on now? We've been watching all these old movies. We've been watching flipping the Puritans. We've been watching Burnings at the Stake,
Hmm.
and the same thing's happening today, just digitally.
Hmm.
People
Well,
are
and it's scary because it's really not that far removed from being a thing again. Like that's so for like Handmaid's Tale, for instance.
yeah.
Like that show fucking terrifies me because that's not that far fetched.
No, because if the pendulum swings back, that's what I mean. The
Hmm.
pendulum right now is being pushed way too far to the left, and it's sitting like this.
Hmm.
Eventually, that's going to go, and that's where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. At the moment, you have to try and get some balance because that's what life's about. It's about balance. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not everything can be boiled down to black and white, left or right, up or down, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, the world's a wee bit more complicated than that.
Yeah. Well, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And the problem is, you've got flipping kids in their 30s. Let's be honest. You've got 30-plus-year-old children running about now.
I
Who've
mean,
had no
as a
life
30 plus
experience.
year old child running around, I can attest to that. They
Yeah, but
should not have let me out on my own.
no, no. There's a difference between indulgence and compulsion, mate, as you well know. You know, it's
Yeah.
these people just they're nothing in life. It's
Hmm.
really weird, and yet
Yeah.
it's like chimpanzees with machine guns.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Just no concept of what's going on. But that's the thing, right? So in this, we've touched on this in these first couple of episodes. Actually, Creepshow has still stuck to its formula, which that's what I appreciate. This when it comes back out again. I hope it doesn't change too much. But they've kind of brought in two of these episodes anyway a wee bit of modern stuff, which is don't go too far,
Hmm.
don't fall into the trap, or else you'll lose it.
Yeah.
Suppose we'll start off then. Sorry,
Yeah.
we
Good as
actually
time as
jumped on
any.
we jumped on into the segment and we've kind of went off again, but that's half the fun.
Yeah.
So episode one, we had Model Kid and Television of the Dead. Model Kid, that was a good start.
Hmm.
I have to
It
say,
was Creepshow in a nutshell.
yep,
It was very reminiscent of the old EC, creepy comics. It felt like you were watching one.
I
It was
think
great.
they've deliberately. You notice they're not doing anything in like modern era.
Hmm.
Really, they're harking back to like the late 70s, 80s for their time settings, which is quite interesting with
Hmm.
with these episodes. So it's cool that they're still holding on to that. But here we have a story. Joe and his mother. His mother's terminally ill with cancer. He's a major horror buff.
Hmm.
Um, just reminds me of being a kid actually. You collected all the monsters. You read the books and comics. You know, just into it, and you like to dress
Hmm.
up. Well, what the hell wrong with that? You know what I mean? Actually, they've got a
Right.
really healthy relationship. You can just see the love. They'll cuddle up in the bed at night or on a Saturday night, and that's their movie night.
Hmm.
It becomes like a ritual, which families don't seem to have anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like families are disconnected people. So seeing that there's actually family and tradition and actually human beings that enjoy each other's company, which is a rare thing
Hmm.
in this antagonistic society we live in. Um, it's refreshing to see, but obviously, Mother's ill. We kind of know what's going to happen. That's another thing as well. These stories, they're not trying to be
That
intellectual.
fucking oh man, that shit kills me. Anytime there's anything with a mom, man, I fucking lose my shit, and I lost my shit with this episode.
They set it up really well. That's the thing. They're 20 minutes,
Hmm.
and they achieve more in 20 minutes than entire seasons of other shows. That's why that's why
Hmm.
when this come back, I'm
Or
like,
even
we're,
most fucking movies nowadays.
yeah. That's why when Creepshow's back, I'm like, we're doing it, we're doing it.
Fuck yeah.
Bit of happiness. So, God, who's it? Barbara and Kevin, the aunt and uncle, arrive in the scene, and you just know where it's going anyway.
Hmm.
Football. What are you doing watching horror movies? That horror crap. I knew every member of blah blah. He's like, uh, no type of idiot you are.
Right.
It's like,
So that's cool. You're gonna glorify a bunch of adults playing games. That's awesome.
it's not even that. I've noticed that actually when I was over your side of the pond. Why do people still harken on to high school as if it was the pinnacle of their life?
I because that is the pinnacle of their life. A lot of people, that's all they have. They didn't go to school during school. They just played grab ass with a bunch of other boys in tights, and that's as much as they were ever going to accomplish in life. And then they become a cop.
it's weird. Like honestly, my school days are I barely remember them.
Hmm.
It give you a bit of a foundation, yeah, but it's when I left school that's when I really started finding myself in the world, and that's when I started having my
Right.
adventures. God, school was
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Couple,
School. I just couldn't wait to get out of it.
yeah, I that last day I was like couldn't wait. That's why I struggled with further education, I think, because just being back in that
Hmm.
environment again was like, nah, did my head in. But in fairness,
Yeah.
a couple of things in school. Science gave me that critical thinking, and I really enjoyed science in school. That really helped me. And the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme, obviously,
Hmm.
I'm sure everyone's heard now. Prince Philip passed away there a couple of weeks ago. I actually took part in the scheme, got my gold award. You know, what I mean, that was the only thing in school
Hmm.
that still stays with me today. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
because it was one of those things you pushed. You know, what I mean, it was you learned to look after yourself in the woods, navigate, map and compass, work out in the hills. You had to like take up a hobby, you know, and get to a certain
Hmm.
proficiency as one of the segments of it. What else was there? Physical, so you had to actually pass um, physical tests, set ups, press ups,
Hmm.
that sort of stuff. To and as each ward progressed, you had to achieve more. If that makes sense. So say you only had to do
Hmm.
20 press ups for the bronze. By the time you got the gold, you had to do like 60 something. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way it progressed. And it was
Hmm.
like 4 or 5 sections. You had to go away for 2 weeks in an expedition. The rest of the expedition
Jesus.
got the gold. So you know what I mean? You'd get us all signed off each level of award. So it was really in depth scheme, but that
Hmm.
was actually an extracurricular activity. It wasn't even part of normal school. You went after school to do that. So that's the only
Yeah.
thing. Like,
There's nothing like that stateside. Like I
no,
would have been all for that shit.
well, it was if you hadn't have thrown your teddy bears out of the pram, joined the Commonwealth like a good little nation, you would have a chance. He's making me as much
Hmm.
trouble now, but hey, because Uganda's great. Yeah, no, but that's just we're still on topic, folks. Don't worry. That's the only thing that really stuck
We're
with me
getting
during school.
back.
We're getting there. During school, that's it. But the actual school life itself, no, that was you know what I mean that's only a stepping stone. So this
Hmm.
guy, Kevin, he just represents those dull, like do nothing with your life, never going to achieve. Back to the glory
Hmm.
days when it's all handed to you when you were popular. Like I don't know anybody from school now. He obviously looking for work. You know what I mean? Just between
Hmm.
jobs right now, so you can see the pattern there.
Hmm.
So eventually, Joe's mother dies. They become his guardians, and then everything starts going to rat shit. He's just wearing the wife beater, sitting at you know what I mean stereotypes. That's what I love about
Hmm.
Creepshow. They can play with stereotypes because they're basically just characters that get munched up at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and I don't get offended because they're not trying to preach to you. Do you know what I mean? You need a
Hmm.
you need a terrible bad character, or you need a black and white. Because it's only like 23 minutes. It's 26 minutes. It's only like 20 minute episode.
It's between 20 to 25
Yeah, it's like
ish.
a
So.
snapshot. It's like a you know
Hmm.
short story, brilliant, and you've only you've only a short time to tell. So yeah, there you go. You have your black and white stereotype. He's the bad guy. Starts wailing on Joe. Joe starts reaching into his imagination and bringing the creatures to life. No, I mean you can just see where
Hmm.
it's all going. But
Oh yeah. As soon as he gets that mystery victim package, it's like, yeah, let's see what he does to his uncle.
voodoo. That one with the kid actually was quite cool as well. Where was it the creature from the Black Lagoon appears, pushes the kid off the bike.
No, no, no. So the kid on the skateboard gets
Oh,
attacked
the
by
skateboard.
Frankenstein's
Oh,
monster.
that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's there's the great callback at the end of the episode, like after all the shit with Uncle Kevin went down, where the camera is panning across all of his models and shit, and the next box in line is the skater, and it's like, yeah, that means next thing that happens is that kid that picks on him is getting fucking killed.
Yeah. that's another thing as well. That's some collection. That's a couple of
Hmm.
grand. That's like collector's items, all sitting for
Yeah.
props. They must. He must be told, right? Do not break anything, right? That stuff sitting there on the shelf, don't touch, right? Your characters,
Hmm.
you can play with this one because we've molded it out of clay, but don't touch these.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. And he starts getting the voodoo doll and breaking it, snapping his legs and stuff, and then you have the mummy coming out of the top of the stairs, and yeah, the creature from Black Lagoon out of the basement or something just starts fucking
Hmm.
him up. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just it ends exactly as you would imagine it would end, where Uncle Kevin dies, and then it's revealed at the end when the aunt comes home that he's not only, done all this shit, knows what he's done, but he's actually transformed into an actual vampire. Because at the beginning of the episode, he's in full Dracula makeup with the
Yeah,
plastic fangs and everything.
but that's I mean, it's like a coming of age, but in horror.
Hmm.
But once again, good start.
Yeah.
You just good classic
Hmm.
Creepshow. Never change. I could watch 100 of these things and not get bored because it's just fun escapism,
Hmm.
and there's a wee bit of a moral story, but still you're not getting beat over the head with it.
Hmm.
Take note, filmmakers. This is how you do it.
Right.
Yep. So second one, television of the decade.
Second one.
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit balls. This was the biggest big dicks or dick swinging around show of balls ever.
How many? I didn't look into it,
Like,
but how
holy
many friggin'
fuck.
backstage deals happened to make this occur?
It was probably one phone call. It was probably Greg Nicotero being like, hey, let's bring him back. And Raimi's like, okay. And that's it. I guarantee that's what it was.
That works for me.
God damn.
So what we have here,
Well, because it's like they all grew up together and shit, and they were all in the same area. So, like the amount of camaraderie within not only the genre, but little segments of the world. Like I guarantee that's all it was.
see, that's the Hollywood I like to think about.
Hmm.
Not today of miserable bastards, but people that actually still enjoy their craft and they're just basically big gigs that have been given money to play with toys. That's what I like to think of filmmaking, and that's the sort of people I want to see making films.
Hmm.
And I think yeah, that would actually make sense. It would just come across with us because they're love. These are what I mean, love pieces. I mean, there's no hatred or bitterness. It's like you did a cool thing, dude. I wanna
Hmm.
I wanna pay homage to it. So premise of the
Hmm.
story is, oh, have you ever seen Death to Smoochie?
Fuck yeah, I have.
That's what I was
Love that
thinking.
movie.
Right, this is basically 20 minutes of the whole Death to Smoochie fucking episode. So what we'll have is a television network. We have Mrs. Bookbury. She's the head. I'm fucking Mrs.
Hmm.
Bookbury. that's that's just what I just got Rainbow Randolph in my head. Just I'm fucking Rainbow Randolph. She's the queen of the airways, bringing so many in. Complete bitch.
Hmm.
Um, and she wants to basically move to the 3 p.m. slot. That's the whole start of this story. We've got
Hmm.
Norm, because I don't want to say Bob, because it's Norm. It's not Bob,
Hmm. No, definitely not Bob.
but it's Norm. So Norm does a little painting segment in the
Oh
afternoons.
my god. And it's so great too, like especially after you watch, like you've seen it once, like it's like, oh, of course that's the cabin. I mean, first time I watched it, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is that the fucking Evil Dead cabin? That kind of looks like the Evil Dead cabin. Then as he's finishing it up, you see the bridge in the background. It's like, oh, that is the Evil Dead cabin. That's so awesome. That's
That's
okay.
this.
Really quick, I'm gonna
Yep.
bring this back, or I will get back to it. But here's the thing I fucking love about this season as compared to last season. There are so many goddamn Easter eggs. Like all you have to do is really pay attention. Like one of the smallest ones that I didn't even notice last time round. And when I was watching it last night with my wife and my friend, they didn't even notice until I backed up to it. But there's a fucking Lost Boys reference in the first episode. Like, it's so awesome how many just dumb little Easter eggs they're throwing in these. So great.
Yeah, and that's the thing because the MCU kind of killed Easter eggs. Let's be honest. They started off good with the not Sam Lee. What the fuck? I'm a dick. Help,
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Mr. Lee, Mr. Marvel,
Oh, Stan Lee.
Stan. That was it. Not Sam. Stan. I knew it was an S. Oh
Mhm.
fucking hell! What the hell? I must have done it. You can just see the smoke coming out of my ears, going, "What the fuck's going on?" One of my favorite people of all time.
Oh,
But
it happens.
sorry, when Marvel did that at the very beginning, like blink and you
Hmm.
miss it, and then as it started going out to the general audience, it just start beating you over the head with them, which ruins it.
Hmm.
You know, the whole point of Easter eggs is you do miss it until somebody points it out, or you just
Yeah,
have to
like you
get it.
have to find it.
So yeah, I've probably missed loads of these, and because I've just been enjoying the episodes.
Hmm.
But this one, yep, we have Mrs. Bookberry wants to go after Norm, kick him out, and they're even saying, "But Norm's been doing this for 10 years, and he just does it because he loves it." I don't
Hmm.
fucking care. No, I mean, and then they threw a wee bit of racism in as well, which actually at that time, because this was set in the 1950s,
This was his, this
60s,
no, this was the '70s because he had
was it
just no, this
70s?
is '70s because he had just come back from Vietnam.
Ah, true, yes. Uh, so 70s, so putting a bit of racism in there worked because it worked with the time period.
Hmm.
Anyway, but also Bookberry's a black and white bitch character, so once again,
Hmm.
you want her to be all the detestable things. So once again,
Hmm.
I'm not offended or annoyed because it works.
Yeah.
No fucking filmmakers, Canada, yeah, fucking look in. Canada tries too hard. I think we've discovered that since doing this show. And then what was it? Antique had like an Antiques Roadshow.
Hmm.
Did you call it over there? We called it Antiques Roadshow. That's been a show that's went on for
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
decades
No,
now. Same thing.
that's still on PBS or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, that's
It's
still
like
going strong here.